I call this the self-image cascade, or the, if you like, the Selfie-Cascade. What do I mean by that? Self-esteem, as we all know, is a critical component of life's success. I define it as the value that you put on your own worth. Now, we know that the self-esteem that you have is fed by your sense of self-efficacy. What is efficacy? It's your belief in your ability to make things happen. If you like, your self-effectiveness. Now, your effectiveness, that sense of efficacy, is fed by your self-discipline. What do I mean by that? You can imagine that if you were a daily exerciser and you were thinking of running a 10-kilometre fun run, if you're a daily exerciser, then you would have a fair bit of confidence about your ability to make that 10-kilometre fun run happen. When you complete the 10-kilometre fun run, you know that your sense of self-worth would be raised by the fact that you've completed this significant athletic event. So your discipline fueled your efficacy, which fueled your esteem in completing the event. So that's why I call it the cascade, how one feeds into the other. The army are interesting, aren't they? We often think that the army is pretty tough on newbies, and they are. But they also do something very interesting. They start at a very basic level, building self-disciplines. They're almost anal, aren't they, about, I call it boots, beds, bullets, buddies, and backpacks. Why? Because when they build these disciplines in, they are effectively, they break people down, but they effectively then build them up again. Why? Because these self-disciplines gradually improve the sense of efficacy in these people. They know, they have a belief that they can make things happen. That the simple disciplines of polishing their boots or making their beds in a certain way, or keeping their backpacks packed in a certain way, or having disciplines around their use of firearms, etc., and disciplines about how they relate with their comrades and their buddies, is very important, because when that sense of belief about being able to make things happen is in place and strongly situated, it builds their sense of esteem. And why is this important? Because when they're in a critical situation, they need to act with calmness and confidence so that the mission, whatever it might be, can have success, that they can survive, that their buddies can survive, and that they actually might be doing something for the greater good. So really important that the army establishes these self-disciplines to build their sense of effectiveness that then feeds their esteem and their knowledge and their calmness in difficult situations. I had a patient of mine who's now a friend of mine. He left school, didn't do well in school, couldn't go to university or college. In fact, joined the army. After a couple of years, he found himself in the SAS, the elite of the Australian Army. After about 10 years in the SAS, he said to me one day, he said, look, I just woke up the other morning and I thought, no, I'm not going to do this for the rest of my life. It's been fun. I've really enjoyed it. It's taught me a lot, but I want to do something more. So he took leave of the army and went back to school, completed his matriculation year, did 4 subjects, got 4 high distinctions, got into the course that he wanted, which was geological physics of all things, topped his year every year, Dean's List every year, got invited to do his masters, did his masters, got invited to do his doctorate. He had a wife and 2 kids at that stage and decided, you know what, I need to get out there and start earning some money. Got headhunted by a large oil company, has been working with them for a number of years, holds a very high position, has a very high income, and all changed because he said he learnt the power of discipline. So when he went back to study, when he went back to university, he was able to focus and he was able to get and have a sense of a belief in himself to what he could accomplish. That fed his sense of self-worth, and now he's riding the wave. So the disciplines that we practice every day, whether they be disciplines of our health, disciplines of our cleanliness and the way we regard and look after ourselves, how we dress, how we keep our house, how we keep our car, all these minor disciplines are actually building the muscle of efficacy. That when we feel effective and powerful, we have a higher self-esteem. When we have a high self-esteem, we accomplish more, we do more, we risk more, we're more adventurous, we're more creative. This practice of self-discipline is critical for the practice of success. Learn and develop the disciplines of life.